He has a lot of topics he likes. This is entrepreneurship, finance, psychology, leadership, anthropology, physics. Okay, it's a very long list, so I'm going to stop right there. But he likes a lot of things. He loves a lot of things. And asked why he loves to work with people, he says that it's all about the invisible gratitude and being kind to each other. And that's how we bring change to this world. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage Ahmad. Thank you, Ahmad.
Right. Thank you, James, for this introduction. Beautifully chosen words. So before I start, let's set some rules for today. All right, I don't have much time, so I need your full concentration. I need your effort, your support. I will direct some questions to you during my speech. So whenever you feel addressed, just raise your hand as quickly as possible. I'm going to start with my first question, and we're going to make an exception already. I want you to use your voice and not your hand. James already said, beautiful energy. Are you ready? Yes! Wow, not bad. I have very good hearing. I didn't hear everyone. So are you ready? Yes! Perfect. Satisfied with that one. Because you know, oh, that's the topic, by the way. And are you ready? I forgot the clicker in my hand. So, the first lesson for today. A single voice is small. Alright? An individual can reach a lot on its own, but not everything. Several voices are stronger. But all of your voices put together are powerful. They have an impact. Voices can topple governments. They can build nations. And they can change the world. And this is honestly the reason I'm standing here in front of you today. I want to lead. I want to lead this world to change. I want to rearrange patterns, structures. I want to make this world a better place. So, enough of that. If you want to know why I do this, as James said afterwards, opportunity to ask questions, feel free, grab that. But now look at you guys. Awesome audience, thank you for being here. It wasn't easy, I know. Friday plans usually differ than sitting in student talks. But I'm glad you're all here. But now my question to you again is, if I would ask you why you are here today, who will be able to give me an answer? Okay, a few. Not a lot. Okay, I see. A third. And that's a funny thing, because for those who did, thank you for raising your hand, and for those who didn't, second lesson for today, always question your why, your intentions, your resolve. And I do this at the beginning of every workshop I conduct. We do a small shift in the mind of every participant. And what's that all about? It's about taking the responsibility for your own life, for your own journey. You are sitting behind the wheel. No one else. You are steering. No one's going to do that for you. So enjoy, question every word we say today. Don't go home asking yourself, was it worth it? Ah, the food was good. Because no matter what value we bring to you, it won't do you any good if you don't process it or reflect on it. The best method for studying is not the Pomodoro technique or the Eisenhower matrix. It's you being curious, showing interest, shifting your mind. Small story about that. Today, one of the 30 days I fast. It's about 14 hours without food and drink. Looking forward to the meal later. And when my wife first heard that I commit to that, she was a bit shocked, and the first reaction was, I would never survive without water. You see, my wife is the type, a small sip of water, and the bottle is gone, so a heavy water drinker. And last year she fasted for the first time with me. And she set her goals, shifted her intentions, and surprisingly, it wasn't impossible anymore. She survived. She's in the audience. On the contrary, it became easy. And that's the power of the why. That's the power of mind shifts. I'm really forgetting the slides here. So the why is at the core of every vision. It's at the core of every act we do in our lives. And this why is powerful. Let's visualize that together. Let's take the pyramid. No, it's not working. The vision is like your very own pole star that guides you through the process. Now let's take the pyramids, for example. I think I need to direct it that way. The pyramids consist of chalk stones, alright? Let's imagine this is your vision, you're trying to reach the summit. And these chalk stones, if you take them, every single piece, break them into as many small pieces as you can, you're still going to see them. But they still consist of molecules that you can't see. And those molecules in return consist of atoms. Small atoms. And that concept applies to your life, to every vision you have. Of course, you can try to jump from here to there, but be sure to be wearing a parachute when you do so. Because visions cannot be reached overnight. And I hate to break it to you, but overnight success doesn't exist. The work needs to be put in, whether it is you, your parents, your great-grandparents, your friends, the network. I think the better approach, and I'm sure every single individual in this room already figured this complex process out, placing small steps closer to each other. And you define them. You define these things, small improvements. Because if you can't do the small things right, you won't be able to get the big things right. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, said that simple and very easy formula for tiny changes throughout a year. So if you worsen 1% every day, your progress will decline, inevitably. If you improve 1% every day, your progress will surge exponentially. Now let's, again, visualize that a bit. You know, we humans are not very good at numbers. Let's imagine a plane taking off from Los Angeles, heading towards New York City, and that plane shifts its direction before takeoff by 1% to the south. That's 3.6 degrees. I assure you, no one on the plane, no one on board will realize that there was a shift. The realization will hit everyone when they land in Washington, D.C. No Big Apple, no Statue of Liberty. A drive of 365 kilometers back to the original destination. Now imagine having a life, imagine having a vision in your life and realizing years after, I didn't do the proper things on a daily basis. And then you're looking far away, 365 kilometers away from you, but damn, there's my vision. There's where I wanted to go. And there's one thing we in life, we in human as a society, we're trying to jump towards aimlessly towards that thing, and it's climate protection. And I wanted to ask you that question, but I don't think it's necessary because we all are aware that global warming is probably the main reason our beautiful planet won't exist in a millennium or two anymore. But there's still things that we can do on a daily basis, especially us in the wealthy countries. We are privileged, if you like it or not. Who doesn't love burgers? There are no burgers later on, but let's compare these two. Red meat patty, vegan patty. 3.7 kilograms CO2 emissions for the red meat patty, 0.4 for the vegan patty. Okay, you all started calculating, alright, we know, we save 3.2 kilograms CO2 if we take the vegan patty. But let's grasp the metrics a bit more. If you would drive on your own from Vienna to Munich with the car by yourself, you would be responsible for 80 kilograms of CO2 emissions. That's around 22 red meat patties. Now there's a fast-growing fast food chain restaurant called Swing Kitchen. Anyone heard of it? Alright, wow, awesome. So for those that have been there, you know there are these screens in every store where they state and indicate how much has been saved since its foundation. I knew them by heart now. I checked them for you, brought the numbers. And if we look at the CO2 emissions, at least 3 million CO2 kilograms of emissions have been saved since the foundation. That will be the number of drives from Vienna to Munich in order to reach these emissions. Furthermore, this equals 380 times around the globe with the car. In only 6 years, with only 9 restaurants. Now imagine how many McDonald's restaurants there are. Let's move on. Water. 3.8 billion liters of water saved. Not even my wife can drink that much in her life. That's around 24 million filled bathtubs. Let that sink in. Because we will move on to the next thing now. From environment to, let's go to the capitalism. But before that, you don't have to have perfect or holistic solutions in order to improve the world. It doesn't need a new startup, or a new process, or a new corporate culture, app. Look around you, be conscious of your opportunities. See what you can adapt on a daily basis on your own. Maybe start by buying completely recycled shoes instead of Jordans. Or wear your clothes a bit longer and skip 1 or 2 shopping tours a year. Or start once a week and grab the vegan alternative instead of the red meat. And you will see, the impact is not on the data and the metrics. The impact will be inspirational. I promised you capitalism. We're at the University of Economics, so when we're talking about small impact, we need to include finances. Many a mickle make a muckle, or better said, many pennies make a dollar. Who doesn't want to be wealthy? Well, I do. I want to be able to afford everything easily without cutting expenses. I want to be able to provide a good life for my parents, wife, children, siblings. That's why I started investing 3 years ago. And I realized something very important. It's very hard to invest when you are in the stock exchange with medium risk if you come from a socioeconomically household like I do. The second realization I had, it's still possible, nevertheless. 2 activities. 1 party, 1 restaurant visit. Skip one of these two in a month. And I'm sure usually one pays a bit more, especially when you're partying. And take these 25 euros, let's say that's how much you will spend. Take these 25 euros and save them for 20 years. Long, right? Yeah. These 25 euros will turn into 6,000 euros after these 20 years. Now I know, inflation, increase of costs, and so on, it's not going to be worth 6,000 anymore. Well then invest them. Invest 25 euros every month. And for the last 20 years, the average revenue of the world economy was 6.52%. Now when we look at our investment every month, we're not going to have 6,000, we're going to have double the amount, 12,000. After 20 years, if you start now, that's a lot. Later on, you can invest a bit more and more. But don't expect your money to increase from today or overnight. You know? Maybe you can try Dogecoin or Shiba Inu. Maybe some Cardano or Bitcoin. No, I invested in crypto, so no offense. But you have to stay on the long run. Because the long run always wins. Small steps now, huge impact later. But the most important area where I think that we need to change ourselves, or to start changing ourselves, that would have the biggest impact on us human beings. Oh, that's the slide. I'm a bit behind with the slides, I'm sorry for that. But the area that I promised you was how we treat each other. Let me ask you a question here. We'll start very simple. Who's bad at memorizing names? Alright? Some hands over here because I don't I'm gonna admit that. Okay? A bit representative to my experience. For the last years, I honed that skill. And I'm very good at memorizing names, like really fast. And the first reaction I get when someone sees that is, oh shit, wow, Mr. A, awesome, how do you do that? I'm so bad at names. I forget them the second I hear them. Or usually I don't hear them even properly when someone introduces me by myself. Sounds familiar? Well, how about asking that person if you didn't hear their name properly? Some are bad at it, but not everyone, I'm sure. You just need to put in the effort. But we are quite comfortable beings. We don't want that. But you can't expect appreciation, respect, honesty, kindness from others if you don't show it yourself, proactively. Maybe the next time we'll try to memorize the names of the people around you. We have name tags today. So maybe when you address someone, hey, oh, Larissa, hi Larissa, how are you? Marcus, you good? Ilya, Massimo, James, Misha, Ali, Selina, Jules? Memorize names. Be kind to each other. Treat each other right. When was the last time we appreciated our parents? Called them on our own. Not thought to ourselves, ah damn mom, come on, wrong timing. I'm watching a movie. When was the last time we said something beautiful to our partners, and not because they were pissed? When was the last time we intrinsically helped other siblings, friends, relatives? If we want to change this whole world, we need to change the way we treat each other. The name may sound trivial to you. It's just a name. I struggled for that my whole life, so Ahmed. My name's Ahmed. Ahmed. No, it's Ahmed. Ahmed, yeah, it's the same. But names are in the end a huge part of our identity. Kindness wins in the long term. No money, no environment will work out if we don't get kinder to each other. And this world would be a much better place if we just started being a tad kinder to each other. Because these small changes, they start within you. You don't need some guru standing here in front telling you what to do. You need to want that. You need to be in harmony, soul, body, mind aligned. I know it's difficult, but the first step is to realize you want to change. And the second step is act upon that realization. Try to make your small changes into compound habits, triggered like a chain reaction. You want to exercise more in the morning? Put your dumbbells next to your bed, your yoga mat, your running suit. You wake up, you're going to feel guilty if you step over them and go to the bathroom. Make it easy for yourself. You want to read more? You can't find time for that? Well, put the book at the front door every evening. When you walk out of the door, take the book into your hand, smartphone in the pocket or bag, or read from your smartphone. And make it easy for yourself to read rather than distraction. Of course, the big picture matters. But even this big picture consists of very small puzzle pieces that you need to put together. And of course, I know it's difficult. Usually we doubt ourselves. Come on, I'm just one human being. The world is in balance if I don't change myself. Yeah, but the next time you want to do something, remember, you're not the only one doubting yourself. I know, you are but one single individual. Your impact, your change won't have an impact at all. But half of humanity said that already too.